491 Adam.
1 day.
I just think something's wrong.
Can you clear a plate for me?
98 cars.
He doesn't have a radio.
I'm not the only one.
One stolen.
It's frustrating.
Every 15 minutes.
It's overwhelming almost every single day.
1 day, October 6th, 2021. Each dot a car or truck stolen on that Wednesday. A day that could have been any day in a state where more than 100 vehicles are swiped every 24 hours.
It's unfortunate, but it's not surprising.
So I dropped it off at a local repair shop just for an oil change, and they were really backed up.
For a few days, Brad Aueren's Chevy pickup sat in the lot at the Monument shop. And then, a phone call.
And they asked me if I'd picked the truck up that night.
He hadn't. Instead, he was victim 24 on that one day. And it hurt, mostly for his kids.
This is their grandfather's truck. He only had that truck for about a year, and then he passed away.
A Chevy Silverado with a nickname.
They call the truck Gary because that was his name.
A truck destined to be his daughter's.
When I told her initially, she was super emotional too. Just thinking that you might never get it back.
I lived on the second floor, and my dog Scout will bark every once in a while, you know.
On that one day, that bark awakened John Rodriguez at 3 a.m.
Dead sleep, woke up, kind of felt like weirdly dreamlike.
He thought his Yamaha motorcycle was safe, stashed in a tent outside his Edgewater apartment.
And I could only see half of a pickup truck, and some guys like kind of being real quiet. You can almost hear them whispering, and thought, I think they're stealing my motorcycle.
He called 911.
By the time I looked back up, the pickup truck was out the driveway. That's the last time I saw my motorcycle in the back of that truck.
One day, 98 stolen vehicles, 17 never recovered. In case after case from that one day, the story was the same. No witness, no video, no suspect.
That goes to the question as to the solvability factors.
And no surprise to Denver Police Division Chief Aaron Sanchez.
Really, the number one thing is identification. We have to be able to put a suspect behind the wheel.
Nationally, about 14% of auto thefts are solved. But among those 98 stolen vehicles that one day in Colorado, criminal charges were filed in just 7 cases.
We will find individuals who have multiple auto theft arrests, and a half a block away, we'll find 2 or 3 stolen vehicles.
A sobering reality.
Until you could put this person in that vehicle, it's just a coincidence.
Inquiry.
One day, 98 stolen cars.
Can you run a VIN for me, please?
And a glimmer of good news. 81 of the vehicles were recovered.
Looks like it was stolen out of Lakewood.
Like victim 5's in Denver and victim 82's in Arvada. Officers boxing it in after finding a suspect passed out at the wheel. Some owners found their cars themselves, like victim 72, whose Jeep was abandoned in Lakewood, and victim 87, who spotted his BMW at a 7-Eleven in Denver.
491 Adam.
But recovery doesn't always mean a happy ending. Victim 20's car ended up in an impound lot, a meth pipe in the front seat, and the unmistakable rumble of a car missing its catalytic converter. This Subaru totaled.
After 3-4 days, pretty much every day, the probability was getting to be less and less that it would come back.
Calling stage.
On the 5th day, Brad Aueren got lucky. Fountain Police checking out a marijuana grow found a stolen Corvette in the garage, and Gary
I'm gonna try this other side.
sitting out front.
This was painted black.
It's got problems.
The license plate that was removed.
But Aueren is thankful he could buy it back after the insurance company totaled it.
Here's the handy-dandy screwdriver.
And stunned at his place in Colorado's auto theft epidemic.
100 auto thefts a day in Colorado that blew my mind. I would have expected, a dozen or 20 maybe.
The last car stolen that one day was a Honda Civic swiped in Colorado Springs at 11:48 p.m. 17 minutes later in Westminster, someone stole a Ford pickup, starting the cycle all over again on the next day. And Kyle and Alex, we have much more, including a breakdown of every one of those 98 thefts on our website, 9news.com.
It's clear it's become like an industry. And I mean, and for some families, it's an annoyance, But I mean, for other families, it's just catastrophic to lose their vehicle.
Exactly. And I talked to one victim that had a brand new vehicle, so it did get totaled. It got repaired. It's got a rattle. One of the switches doesn't work. It's still being a hassle for her a year later.
Kevin, thank you.
Thank you.